Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't yet, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We could really use subscribers. Now, what are we talking about today? We're talking about what I've got behind me there, a wood stove. Yeah, that's an ugly one. It's really an ugly one. But I bought it for 200 bucks. So it has heated this house for 2 winters, works great. But what are some of the things you might want to look for in a wood burner if you're planning on heating your whole house with it? Now, I say that because some people just want a little wood burner in their living room. They can throw a little fire in, knock the chill off, and look pretty. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you want to actually heat your house with wood. You're going to need something better than that. One of them little fireplaces with the little glass window in the front, they're pretty. They're not designed for heating your house, though. So we're going to talk about some of the features you're going to want to look for. Even though they're not the best features on this one here, you'll still be able to see the important things and why you need them. We're going to talk about those things. Is this the one that I would have wanted? No. I had my eye on something much better. One of those that's got rocker grates in it. If you don't know what rocker grates are, look them up. Because if you're going to burn coal, you need rocker grates. And rocker grates are nice to have. Even with wood ashes, you just rock the grates back and forth, just wobble, 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 and the ashes fall through and the coals stay on top. And that's what you're looking for. But also, it had a blower system. It had 2 550 CFM blowers on the back. That's cubic feet per minute. That's quite a bit of blowing power. And 2 8-inch pipes coming off the top of the plenum. Now, I thought 8-inch pipes were a bit much. I reduced them to 6, but that's fine. 2 6-inch pipes coming off a wood burner is going to throw a lot of heat too, especially with those 2 blowers. And it was thermostatically controlled, so the blowers didn't run constantly. When the fire went out or something, they didn't just keep running on blowing cold air. They'd shut off when it got cool. But that's what I'd like to have had until I saw the price tag. $200, $3,200. $200, $3,200. Yeah. So we were getting down to the end of our money after building this room addition and putting a new roof on the house and a dozen other things that we didn't expect to have to pay for. We were running low on money, so I found this. It had everything I needed for 200 bucks. That might be the situation you're in too. So let's get right on to finding out what the important things are, because clearly looks aren't important when it comes to heating your house with wood. This is down in the basement. Nobody comes down here anyway except for me. It's got a big pile of wood sitting down there and dirt on the floor. And, you know, up here in this area over here is where I cut my kindling. Right now, this is just an unfinished basement. It's mainly used for storage and the wood burner. And that's probably all it'll ever really be as long as I'm living here. Somebody else might get the place down the road and decide they want to put a man cave down here. It'd be a great place for a man cave. But for us, this is what it is. And even on the coldest days, right now it's like 15 degrees out. And it's hot upstairs. It's really hot down here, but the way it's designed, the heat goes up. It doesn't stay down here. Now, I can shut things off and make the heat stay down here, but I don't want the heat to just stay down here. But that's one of the nice things about it. The heat heats up underneath the floorboards, and when the floor gets nice and warm, the room's nice and warm. And let me tell you, it is great to get out of bed in the morning, put your feet down on a nice, warm floor. So let me show you some of the things that are important about a wood burner that you definitely need to have if you want to be able to heat your house with wood. Like I said, this isn't just something you're going to want to have in your living room to look pretty and put a little crackling fire in and knock the chill off once in a while. This is for seriously heating your house with wood. So let's go. Just as a quick aside, since it's been so cold the last few days, lows around 10, highs around 25, this is that MIB wood I told you about, best of the best of the best. It's burning really well, but I also busted into my hickory pile because I wanted to see how well the hickory would work. You want to know the difference between oak and hickory? Hickory burns a little hotter, throws a little more heat, that's for sure. But there's two things about hickory that I'm not real fond of. I don't know if I'll cut more or not, but it does work out real well when it's cold out. But oak does well enough. I'm running myself out of the house with just the oak. But anyway, the hickory, first of all, when you open that door, it tends to throw sparks. And I don't like sparks flying out of my wood burner when I got a pile of dry wood and powdery wood dust on the floor right outside the door. See, there is the door. But also, hickory makes a lot more ash than oak does. You have to empty the ash door a lot more often, and it clogs up the grates at the bottom a lot more. Oak burns really clean, especially white oak. You can't beat white oak for an overall firewood. White oak is the best, absolutely the best. Low ash, high heat, long lasting. It's not easy to split though, I'll give it that. But everything else, it's just the perfect firewood. Perfect. Now, what are some things you want to look for on a wood burner? Well, first of all, if it's going to be in a place people are going to see, you might want to get one that's prettier than this thing. But like I said, $200, $3,200. But anyway, it's got the door here, which, you know, they all have to have a door, and you open it up, got a little fire in there. And then down there it's got the air control, which is supposed to be hooked to this chain and be thermostatically controlled, but that's all rusted up. So what I'm doing, I used to use this rock down here to hold the door shut or open and adjust it. But then I broke the broom. And that broom handle is just the right length, as you can see there. I can lift it up and down on the wall and open and close that door and increase the air, burn faster and hotter, or decrease the air. But the most important thing you're looking at is the one thing I haven't shown you, and that's down here, the ash door. You need a separate ash door with an ash pan that you can pull out. This pulls out. It's too hot to touch, really, but it pulls out. So I can pull it out, take it out, and dump it while I still have a fire in there. Why is that so important? That is critical for heating your house with wood. Why is that so important? Well, I'll tell you. It's simple. Because you don't want to have to let the fire go out to clean up the ashes. And that's the problem with those little fancy little stoves. It's really hard to clean out the ashes while there's still a fire in there. And if you're heating your house with the wood and it's the sole heat provider, you don't want to have to let the fire go out to empty the ash door, because you got to empty that. If you're burning oak, once a day is more than enough. I go about a day and a half. But if you're burning this stuff, twice a day. And if you're burning other stuff, pine, twice a day. If you're burning like elm, twice a day. Most woods, you've got to empty it twice a day. Oak, white oak, especially once a day, once every day and a half, that's plenty. But you have to have a way to empty the ashes without the fire going out. That's the most important thing. And another thing that's important, I mean, some of them only control the air at the bottom, and that's the only heat control they have. But this one here doesn't work that way. It has to have the damper in the flue pipe. And most wood stoves have the damper in the flue pipe and the control down at the bottom. But the one I had before, when I lived in Illinois, I had one, and it was a nice one, the one with the blowers on it and the pipes coming out the top. The only control you had was the air coming in. It had no flue, it had no damper in the flue. It just had an open pipe coming out. They said you don't need it, and by golly, they were right. I had that thing for 6-7 years, and it threw all kinds of heat. Never had to worry about having a damper in the pipe. And something else you're going to need too is a set of those hanging on the wall. Those come in really handy. So that is my small review of the most important thing you have to have. The biggest difference really between heating your house with wood and having a small heat source to knock the chill off is that ash drawer down there in the bottom. You have to have a way to empty the ashes without waiting for the fire to go out. So I guess that's about it for this video. Thanks again for watching. Give us that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll keep making the videos.